for this point in my life, like, it just feels like Jesus.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are more unmarried women than unmarried men in the United States. How many more unmarried women, you ask? Well, it says that the odds of finding a potential mate in the United States were in men's favor back in 2019. There were 89.8 unmarried men for every 100 unmarried women. But that's all ages. If you shrink the age group down to 30 to 34, this group had the highest ratio at nearly 121 men to 100 women. And along with marriageable men being more scarce than marriageable women, the marriage rates have been on a consistent decline over the past 60 years as per the graph right here. And you'll see this gnarly little decline to present day today. And what are the contributors to this decline? Well, I just mentioned one, which is modern day feminism, which bred this "I don't need a man" culture, but additionally, medications such as hormonal birth control, technical advancements such as social media that gets us closer together digitally, but in reality keeps us farther away from each other. The horrid dating culture today, and last but not least, men finally waking up to the disproportionate treatment in the family court system. These are all facts, these are all trends, but what is the result of all of this? Well, besides being the highest illegitimacy rate in modern history, a loneliness epidemic. Now, the content that I have for you guys here today paints a clear picture to how individuals are being affected by this epidemic, specifically as to what women who have been lied to with the modern day propaganda and mind virus are feeling like. Outside of the IG highlights and outside of TikTok reels, this is how women are actually feeling. MT Army, let's get active on this one. So without further ado,
I'm not someone that posts or cries or anything on the internet, so this is a new one for me. I guess I need girls to rally with me and lift me up because I feel so defeated right now.
Let's talk about it, mama.
I've been trying to meet someone, just anybody worth my time, for years. And dating apps are so awful. I don't need to explain to you how awful the dating apps are. So I've been trying to meet people in public, and they're still trash when I do randomly meet people in public. But tonight takes the cake.
Let's recap before we go in. She said that she's been trying to meet a man for years. So my guess is that she's 30-ish. Now, back when I showed you guys the graph, back in 1960, the average age for women to marry was like 22. But here's the component of the mind virus that we need to address, because the sad thing is that women, just like her, were told to focus on everything else in their life than finding a suitable mate in their youth. Instead, they're told to go out and explore your options. Be sexually liberated. Your past won't matter. What they are not told, the reality is that you have two finite windows when it comes to relationships. A marriage window that, unbeknownst to her, is predetermined by men. If you get outside of that window, the likelihood of getting the man that you want to get on bended knee for you significantly decreases. And the second finite window is the fertility window, with geriatric pregnancy starting at 35 years of age. So my guess is that she believes she's missed the marriage window, and that's the emotion that we're seeing right here. But let's keep listening.
Last week, I was like, I'm part of an app that you can basically get invited to these events, and there was a comedy thing coming up, and I bought a ticket. Thought maybe I'll meet people here, maybe I'll meet a guy, or like just meet people in general that like I can become friends with, and then who knows what could happen.
Yep. And
let me just tell you how this went.
Tell us.
I show up, it said limited seating. Get there first, like it was like an open bar, and in my head, I'm a prompt person, so I got there like 20 minutes beforehand. And
getting there 20 minutes early to an event like that is absolutely ridiculous, man. But it also demonstrates a lack of experience or perhaps even social awareness. So she's new to this. And we've all been new to this at some point, but to be 30-ish and not know that early is not cool is a symptom of our new technological world, where people are newly experienced to social settings when they're 30-ish because they're just so used to bending their necks down and looking at their smartphone.
I happen to be the first person there. Okay, kind of weird, but okay. They tell me, since it's an intimate thing, try to sit in the front row because it's going to be hard to get people squishing through there, and it's a sold-out show. Okay, that's fine. I sit in the front row, and it's about showtime, and I'm realizing, like, nobody else is in the front row. It's just me. Everybody's, like, filled in the back. Like, every row's filled with all the couples, of course, and then it's just me. I guess people, like, some people of course, some people are going to drop out and not show up, but the host of the show comes up to me really quickly and like, mouths thank you for, like, sitting in the front row. And she proceeds to go up front.
She's supportive.
Go up onto the stage and pointed out, like, had everyone clap for me for being brave enough to sit in the front row. And, like, that was fine. Like, I get it. Like, you know, people are afraid to sit in the front row. And I was kind of excited for it when I thought there was going to be people there. And it was just ironic that, like, the reason I was there was to meet people, and it was like I was a piranha. So she informed the crowd that, like, I was safe from being picked on because I was brave enough to sit there, and I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, the next few comics come up, and they both kind of point out, like, are you waiting on people, or, like, what's going on here? And I'm, have to admit, like, no, I'm trying to meet people. And, again, they're nice. They're not being mean to me about it, but it's mortifying.
Sitting in front of a comedy show and having the comics be nice to you is a damn privilege, okay?
Mortifying. And then another comic comes up, and again, it's just like, you're pretty, but, like, and it's just... Yeah.
What she said back here was the most interesting thing in this part. Let's listen.
I sit in the front row, and it's about showtime, and I'm realizing, like, nobody else is in the front row. It's just me. Everybody's, like, filled in the back. Like, every row's filled with all the couples, of course, and then it's just me.
The way that she's describing this, I think, details one of the differences between men and women. Masculine men thrive on being engaged in their work and building things or objects, whereas feminine women thrive on emotional connections and relationships with other human beings. That's generally why you see much more men in building roles or STEM fields, whereas women have more roles that are more caregiving in nature, teachers. So it pains her to see all of those couples, all of those relationships, because it reminds her of what could have been. But here's why many men don't have sympathy for content like this. Because if you check the DM list of so many of these women that are staring at the wall that is quickly approaching, I can guarantee you that there's lame guys in there that occupy her friend zone.
So by the end of the show, the lady comes up and says that they normally do a raffle to win this prize, because it was kind of at like a boutique type thing, but instead of the raffle, she's going to give this thing filled with stuff to the brave young woman who came first and sat alone in the front row.
Wait a minute. I think I discovered what the issue may be. Do you see what I see over her shoulder? Jamal, how could you? You just be indulging in the insides, but don't have the gumption to attend with the lady to the governor's ball. Shame on you, Tyrone Light! How dare she allow you to continue in a situationship in those unfettered walls?
And then she had me introduce myself. What's your name? Anya. And, like, everybody's... as if, like, brave fucking me.
Yo, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, Mama. I know you're in a little bit of pain. But they were trying to make you feel included. they were trying to help you fit in. You were the only single person that was there. Don't turn into a victim because they called you out a couple of times.
And she tells me to make sure to give my email to so-and-so to get, like, some gift card or something. And, like, this is all in front of everybody. And I just, like, I know nobody's sitting there like, oh, my God, look at this girl. But, like, it's just, like, feels like such a slap in the face. And I'm not even mad at the comics. I'm not even mad at the lady. Like, I would probably think the same thing. But, like, just for this point in my life, like, it just feels like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Like, I don't want to go out again. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. When I try, like, shit like this happens and dating apps suck. And then I get into an Uber on the way home because I can't go have a drink like I wanted to because I have this giant fucking bag full of shit to carry around. And I get in this Uber, and it's this 75-year-old woman with her dogs. And she won't stop talking about her dogs and, like, how she got an oil change. And what did you do tonight? Was the comedy show good? And, like, I'm being nice and polite, but all I can think about is, like, this is going to be me.
Oh, essentially what you guys are watching right here is Inception. We're looking at a woman who is emotional, but at this point of the story, she reflects on how she is looking at someone that has submitted to the wall, ranting and raving about her dogs and stuff. But this is exactly why there needs to be content criticizing how society has led these women astray. They told them that they don't need no man, or that men have no value in society, or allows them to think that hanging out in the forest with a bear is more safe than hanging out in the forest with a man, or that men are useless. See, the difference between modern men today versus the majority of these modern women is that as men, we understand collectively and acknowledge that we need women. However, on the flip side, women today have been conditioned to believe that men are her enemy. But the reality doesn't sit in until she realizes that being single and into your 30s is not just another episode of Sex and the City. It's legitimately difficult, okay?
Like, and I know that's a worst case scenario. And it's not even like that's a terrible thing to be single all your life, but like,
we're meant to be together, mama.
I can't help but feel like I'm gonna turn into this because I'm never gonna meet someone. And for everybody who's gonna tell me, it'll come along when you least expect it. I've been hearing that for like 7 years. Okay.
Here's the thing, and I've actually been thinking about this. I know that the majority of my content is for men, but I think like men like myself is actually the best source of information that women just like her should come to, consult with, listen to the content of, so that they can escape the mind virus and begin to put things in her purview that are actually, in reality, going to get her the relationship results that she needed, that she wants. That's why Kevin Samuels was so important to this planet. R.I.P. to KS. That's why he was so important, because outside of all the entertainment, he wanted to see people together. But I digress. Let me just finish up.
Okay, I'm so sick of hearing that. There's such a thing as people that just don't find their person and don't get married. So like I'm a realist. And the realist in me is starting to think like that's gonna be me. And I'm depressed now over it. As pathetic as that sounds. And yeah.
You got time, mama, but you gotta start working now. By the way, to all of my normal viewers, the reason why I didn't pull out the violin on this one is because I really think that she's actually a nice person. It's just she's feeling the effects of the reality of this modern situation. But again, I just wish that the content that I would speak about and unveiling the truth to them would reach them as readily as what the feminist ideology and mind virus has reached them. So to everyone that's out there that's watching the content, ensure that you like as well as share so that more can see it. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Last but not least, to all of my G's out there, all of my guys. As you know, I have my own private transformational community focused on financial fitness, health and wellness, enhancing your masculinity, as well as finding your purpose. If you're interested, there's a link to it right down below in the description box or the comment that is pinned to the top. Maybe it's not pinned to the top, but click in, beam up, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.